What's going on, guys? I'm Josh Barr, and I'm here to join you in the journey to the moon. And just 24 hours ago, we were sitting at a $59 billion market cap, and it seems like we're stabilized at 75 billion, which, interestingly enough, it went from 90 billion to 60 billion, and 75 billion is right in the middle of 60 and the 90 billion. And as we look here at the biggest losers, I mean, there's only two coins in the red, and everything's green, everything's gray, everything's going up. So another thing I noticed too is Tether, which is usually the equivalent to a dollar, is actually up, even though it's -3 right now. It's up from the dollar. And I noticed how a lot of people, or some people, exchanged their crypto for Tether as a kind of bunker from going down, because Tether is always equivalent to a dollar, which I found kind of interesting. Some people did that, but I guess it's better than losing 30-40%. I also noticed during the crash 24 hours ago that BTC dominance went up to around 52%, which was pretty interesting, as well as BTC went down to, I remember seeing it like around 1850, and look at Bitcoin now, it's back to 22. So you can't lose with that. A lot of people, traded in their alts and went back to Bitcoin, ran to Bitcoin. And I mean, everything looks great. Ethereum's back. It's $1.77. Now, not everybody has recovered their positions. But another coin I noticed is Golem. Golem is actually sitting higher than before the crash, when it was sitting at 45. The market crashed, it dumped, and then it went down to like 29, 30, and it's up 77%. So Golem is a big winner, big gainer. Now, no one really knows why the Bitcoin dropped, the market cap dropped 30%, the entire market cap 30%. But obviously there are the Fibonacci lines, and CNBC analysts were looking at it. But for the most part, they were saying that people were just taking profits. That was pretty much a reason why the market cap went down, which kind of makes sense when you look at the past 30 days. Obviously, the market cap tripled. So I mean, if you saw 200% returns, a lot of swing traders or day traders was like, hey, let's take profits. It's up 200%. Which, again, no one really knows why it dropped. But I mean, it was too much too soon. But where I'm getting at, it wasn't like there was a Mt. Gox or some kind of hack or a malicious DDoS attack where an exchange went down. Nothing crazy happened. It was just the market responding. And interesting enough, the same people that I showed this blog post yesterday, the same people, that the analysts that called it with the Fibonacci lines of going to 28, going to 1780, which is kind of scary, where, again, I saw it around 1850 and it's only like $70 off. They said it could fall even lower. But the same people that called the correction, if you will, are also saying that by the end of the year it's going to be at 33.50, 44.80, right? As I go to the same CNBC, just different blog post, they're saying, oh, the Bitcoin see a 47% correction, but some say it's going to 6,000, right? So this is the same line, the same analysis here, but again, the same people that called it are also saying that it could go higher, while other people are bullish that it's going to be at 3,000, 6,000. Here's another article that came out May 28th, which would be today. hyping it up to 10,000 based on the averages, and then at the 25-year average or the value would be 100,000. So even after what has happened, if you're looking at Bitcoin long term, they're still bullish, right? So during this crash, I think it really made people evaluate their portfolio or investment strategies. If you're a day trader, swing trader, or you hold long term, again, some people are arguing that it could be like a dead cat bounce here where, you know, it went down so fast. And I know during the crash, some people were saying that they just want to break even so they could take their profits and get out again. Or some people were saying, oh yeah, look, it's down 30%, 40%. I thought it was too high to get in, but now there's a fire sale. Now it's time to get in. This is the new bottom. And they come in, and sure enough, that the market actually keeps going down because the people that just want to break even are selling. And it's so, like I said, all this is very interesting because, like it says here, you know, dead cat bounce is only identified in hindsight, and people closing their short positions or trying to break even, or people assuming that the market has reached a new bottom, right? And they invest in full confidence that it's reached a new bottom. They put more money into it, and it really wasn't a bottom. And a dead cat bounce can be, you know, it could look good for 24 hours, 48 hours, and then it starts going down again. Because if you look at the profit taking, you know, for the people that bought in here or actually earlier, you know, they're still up 100%. But like I said, it depends on your overall investment strategy. So for me, I mean, I'm already in my positions, and I'm a hold. So if it goes up, I'm a hold. If it goes down, I'm a hold. If you're a day trader, a swing trader, you want this volatility, right? And for the people that haven't got in Bitcoin, they see Bitcoin drop down from 2,800 to 1,900, 1,800. Hey, now's the time to get in, right? But there's still a lot of demand in Bitcoin globally, as more and more places are accepting Bitcoin. We can see here Coinbase saying that they see 4,000 registrations a day, enough to fill up the baseball stadium. So did this 4,000 new users stop, or are they still getting 4,000 new users a day? Right, so the demand for Bitcoin is there, and here's their unprecedented traffic and trading volume this week. So they suffered outages on their Twitter account. But again, it's not just Coinbase, it's India. As demand explodes in India, which interestingly enough is like the day after the low crash happened there, and they're getting 5,000 downloads or 2,500 users a day. But even India was warning their users that limits are that Bitcoin is super volatile, and they actually put limits on how much people can buy. Yeah, a daily limit of $780 for Bitcoin purchases. Due to the shortage of Bitcoin stocks as market conditions change. So anyways, they put a limit on how much Bitcoin their users could buy. So I go and imagine that these people were like so excited to get into Bitcoin, and as soon as they buy, even though there was a limit on it, it went down. The price went down, But once again, India's has a population of 1 billion people, right? So that's a lot of demand. And continuing with Hobie announced that they will be doing Ethereum trading by the end of the month, which is going to increase the overall demand of the market cap. And I did get that from crypto, where he announces the Hubie adds Ether to their exchange, or is going to add Ether to their exchange. And Hubie's a big exchange in China, right? So it's gonna, there's still a lot of demand despite all that's happened. And of course, there's ICOs. The BAT token, the basic attention, is gonna be using Ethereum Bay. Is gonna be using Ethereum. So I don't see people giving up their positions in Ethereum to go into the ICO. They're gonna probably hold their positions and wind up going to Gemini or Coinbase and buy more Ethereum just for the ICO, as opposed to giving up their positions in Ethereum. So I mean, demand is growing globally. There's more ICOs that people want to invest in, and as you can see, I mean, everything's green for the most part. Right, so it was very interesting watching BTC dominance go back up to 52%, and made people reevaluate their investment strategies. But for the most part, if you have a strategy going in, you know what you're gonna do, and come another crash or whatever, you got to think about how you're going to react to that. Obviously, the people that have been doing this for a long time, I'm kind of preaching to the choir here. But for the people that were, losing money or whatever, I'm pretty sure it was kind of like a wake up call, and the volatility of the market. Because for the most part, all this year, if BTC was down, the alts were up. If the alts were down, BTC was up, and this was just everything was bloodshed. But again, it depends on your investment strategy. If you're a swing trader, day trader, you want that volatility, and everything was pretty much a fire sale. But if you're gonna buy and hold, it doesn't really, long term, it doesn't really matter for the most part, especially with these hype guys, going at 100,000 and all that. But for the most part, if you have weak hands, don't worry about a Ledger Nano or a Trezor. Get yourself one of these, because you got to get them strong hand, guys. You got to get them strong hands. And for those of you with weak knees, go down to your local Walmart, CVS, get yourself one of these, because if you got weak hands and weak knees, there's only so much the Ledger Nano and Trezor can do. So until then, let me know what you think. Bearish, bullish, buy, sell, or hold. But until then, get your strong hands, and I'll see you on the moon.